Hi everyone, my name is Christy. I am one of the co-founders of KAILO Wellness Medispa and founder of KAILO Nutrition. I would like to introduce Jay Cardiello and allow him to introduce himself. And then I will jump in after that and speak to the program and my own experience, and then interview Jay on a few key questions, and then let him finish off with some hacks on your wellness journey. So, Jay, if you would like to introduce yourself and a little bit around your history in relation to your fitness journey.
Sure, that'd be wonderful. First off, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, and it's an honor to be here today. So I'd like to first off by saying I went through the worst of times to give people the best of times. I had a very serious spinal injury while training in track and field when I was in college or in university studies, and I broke my spine, which required 16 major surgeries to put it all together. I was on track to actually go to law school, but I fell in love with taking care of the body. And I said, what better way to serve people than to give people the opportunity then to take care of themselves? So I started off first as a coach in the American Football National Football League. I then went on to various other professional athletic sports for about 10 years. And then I started to work with entertainers and athletes such as Jennifer Lopez, Sofia Vergara, Rami Malek and 50 Cent and various other people. And I did that up until now and I actually lived with a lot of them, and I do live with a lot of them on an everyday basis. I was the fitness editor at large for magazines such as Men's Fitness, Women's Fitness, Men's Health, Star Magazine, and various other publications. I'm an author of two best-selling books. And what I'd like to do also for those people that are on the call today, I would like to send you a copy of one of my books. So what we'll do is we'll get your email address, and be happy to send it out to you as a gift to you and a thank you back for joining us on this call. What transpired back in 2013 is I developed a behavioral intervention program to stop, and reverse the progression of chronic conditions with obesity. And I felt we really had something there. And one of the universities by the name of Emory University did research and study because we figured out why people do what they do. Because if you really want to think about it, it gets very hard, it gets very difficult to lose weight, to get on track with exercise, to get your body back. So we put about 1,500 people through my program for about 10 years. And what we did is we found out that we were able to create a system that allowed people to continue to lose weight after year one. A lot of programs they set up where it's 6 days, 8 days, 90 days. But I always tell people, well, what do you do at day 91? And that's it could be very disheartening because in a sense that people get lost. So with the program I developed a 12-week behavioral intervention program to help reduce chronic conditions associated with obesity. And this program is really a mindset program. And I put into various other drug and alcohol rehab facilities, various other places such as Dr. Oz's Share Care. And I also spoke about it at TED Talks. And what we found is that people, if they really want to make sustainable habitual change, they need to change what's going on in their mind. Because in life, it's really you versus you. And people think, I have to diet and exercise and I have to, do this in some sort of hard, fast sense. Well, it's not that. If you really want to think about it, you must change your mind first in order to create sustainable outcomes. And Christy, we found that a lot of people have gone through this program and had so much success with this program is because they changed their habits. And that's one thing that I really want to get across. It is sometimes a very uncomfortable setting, going through diet and exercise, but we wanted to make it as comfortable as possible. And that's why we focus on mindset and mindset change with this. And I know you had the opportunity to go through the program and actually come out in a very successful manner. So I'd love to hear about you and what you thought about the program and a little bit of introduction with yourself.
Yes, no, thank you, Jay. And I think what is really key to understand is my own personal journey before I met Jay. Jay is definitely somebody who has changed my life. Leading up to meeting Jay, I had been on a 3-year journey with Hashimoto's autoimmune disease, so underactive thyroid. I had gained a lot of weight. However, I was eating well and I was over exercising and under eating. I was doing whatever I possibly could that I thought was would work, but nothing was working. And I think what was really confronting for me is, I guess, being the leader of a wellness business, I always felt like I was being judged, and I would walk into a room or I would go to events and it would actually be the last thing that I would want to do, because I felt like my body wasn't responding to anything that worked prior to that journey. I was always able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, stay within a great range of, I guess, weight. And so I guess it was just a lucky moment that I got the opportunity to meet Jay in person in New York and did training with him. And what was really interesting about the training was we did no weights, it was all body weight. And then you explained the program. And I thought to myself, just being really transparent and honest, I thought, what can this guy really do that nobody else has been able to do for me? And I put my trust in the fact that you had the highest level of credentials I'd ever come across. So I thought there's got to be a reason why, people like 50 Cent and J-Lo, and I'm not bringing them up because they are celebrities, but those people only bring the best into their life because they need to maintain a level of fitness to get on stage and perform. And I really cannot express what unfolded over those next 12 weeks. I was eating a lot more food. My training had completely changed. You focused on my hormones, you focused on inflammation. But what was really fascinating was the mindset piece. Every single week, we would have our sessions one on one. And I learned so much about my own patterns and behaviors that I actually wasn't aware of. So I am 18 months later, still living every single day the exact same. I've not wavered from the program, and I'm in the best shape of my life for my age that I've been able to get to. And it's been thanks to you. I guess what I would love to open up is ask some questions so that the audience can get a deeper understanding of what it's like to work with you. You've touched on the mental wellness side of things. I guess going a little bit deeper on your philosophy, and I guess talking to those success stories on how you found those outcomes for people. So yeah, a little bit around your philosophy, Jay, with the mindset would be really great.
Sure. It's a wonderful question. It's a great question. So one of the biggest things that I always tell people, it's you versus you in life. And to really achieve success, you almost have to defeat the negativity or the old self that resides in your mind. And so many people, when they go into a diet and exercise program, they focus on the diet, they focus on the exercise, but they forget about themselves. And if you really want to think about it, think about this, Christy. If you're in an airplane, right? And who do they tell to put the air mask on first? You put it on yourself before you help others. And the program really grabs hold of putting yourself first before you can serve others. So it's serving yourself first. So with the mindset, I wanted to put forth a program that would instill people the feasibility to tap into their subconscious to release any sort of trauma or any sort of blockage in their mind. And how we do this in the program is we first start off, and I don't want to give too much away, but I get so excited about this program, is we do what we call an unlove letter. And an unloved letter is basically, we've all written love letters or we've gotten love letters before. But if you think about an unloved letter, you're writing it out to yourself, your spouse, your parents, your food of choice, even maybe your drug of choice, because some people suffer with addiction for drug and alcohol abuse. And what we do is we go after that. And when you tackle your trauma first, it opens up your subconscious and it releases any sort of negative flow that may be in your mind. And when you attack the negativity, you can then set forth positivity into your mind. And what we do next is we implement positive strategies and positive implementations each week to get the person, whether it be you want to lose 100 pounds, 5 pounds, or just live the best shape of your life, and we attack the negativity so we can bring forth positive outcomes, but most importantly, a sustainable outcomes. So wrapping that all into one sentence, the program really embodies a positive solution set of strategies that take forth and hold your negative capacity, breaks it down, and puts forth an outcome in a positive, meaningful sense to create sustainable outcomes.
Yeah, wow. So well said, Jay. And I think what has been really the key focus for me that I can walk away most positive about is I haven't been on the scales since 18 months ago. So that obsession, and you taught me how to, I guess, be more positive in the way that I self-talk. So I don't look at myself in the negative way like I used to, even though I've lost the weight. You taught me that it's more than that. It's also just about that self-love. And I think another really key and interesting side of things is your training. And I'd love for you to talk around that mobility and the movements on how the body works and why that is so helpful also as we age, because the training that people might expect to get from you, and let me tell you, it's not easy, but it's a very unique style of training. I call you the smiling assassin. And I it'd be really great for people to understand your philosophy behind that because it really does work.
Sure. So that's another great question. As I said before, I went through the worst at times to give people the best at times. So when I broke my spine, I went through things such as denial, then depression, and then anger sets in. And it follows into that pattern with a lot of people. So I wanted to bring forth a exercise platform or exercise protocols based upon what I learned to help get my body back, to get it back to be functional. So the workouts, we work out 4 times a week, and it's only a duration of 20 minutes, but you're doing moves, not your traditional lunge or squat. You're standing on one leg and you're touching your toe. And if you think about that, you say, well, how is that applicable to life? Well, if you're a mom, you're coming down, you're reaching down, picking up your child, and then holding it. You may be a little bit off balance. Those exercises are going to give you structure and stability and growth in and around the spine that's going to support it. And if you have people who are traveling, you reach for your overhead compartment to take out your luggage. We do things where you're reaching up with both hands, standing on your toes, and rotating. So everything is applicable to life and way your body is meant to move.
Yeah, wow. And I think that has been one of the most interesting, even with some of the movements that you do with the legs. And I have found my balance to be, like incredible now. And it's good as we age, we need to have that. And another key area that I think is great for people to understand how we train in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, etc., is completely different. And what I found really interesting is my husband, as you know, obviously did the program as well. And I think what was really compelling is his program and food was completely different to mine. And that really showcased to me your ability to tailor it to every single person. And I think that hormonal side is really misunderstood. Women think in their 40s they've got to continually doing this extreme amount of cardio. I would love to hear from you how you tackle the differences between men and women because we all have hormones that are changing. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. Can you share a little bit around that? Like Oz was doing fasting, but because I had underactive thyroid, you made sure that I was eating regularly. So I think it's
Mhm.
really good for people to understand a little bit around how you approach that.
Sure. So what we do is we have 5 coaches in the program. We have 2 dietitians, one mindset coach, myself, and a breathwork specialist. And what we do is we curtail and personalize everyone's diet depending upon your needs. And you'll go through a battery of questions. We'll ask you questions so we can get to know and understand you better. Because when we get to know and understand you better, you get to know and understand yourself better, which is the key component to this. So when I'm working with, say, Oz or a male person, his diet is going to be different than, say, a woman who's going through menopause or like yourself who is going through Hashimoto disease. And what we do is we want to create longevity because that's the most key part to this. As we age, our body starts to naturally slow down and changes happen hormonally, changes happen with the way even we breathe. And that's why we have a breathwork specialist. So each program is personalized to you. And people say, well, how do you do that over the 12 weeks? Or how do you do that when you have so many people? It's because it's our passion, and passion breeds passion. So when you, in essence, create passion, you create passion within the person you're working with so they can see themselves not only as being great and beautiful, but also something in the sense that I am myself. See, Christy, what's so interesting is we are all 1 in 400 trillion. That means nobody with the same DNA, born at the same time with the same parents as you, exists in this world. And we really need to say, oh my gosh, I am somebody. I can do this. You know, we get so excited when we see an exotic car or we see a celebrity. But I always tell people we are celebrities ourselves. We just need to celebrate ourselves more. And that's why we curtail and we put in a personalized program for each and every individual based upon their needs.
Yeah, and I guess too, uh, probably the biggest thing that we put in front of ourselves are barriers. And it's around
Mm.
starting programs like this. What would you say to someone, or what do you see as the barriers that people say to themselves before choosing to do a program or join a gym, whatever that looks like for them? What do you hear often?
Well, I hear the words I can't.
Mm.
And I always like to drop the apostrophe and the T and say I can. And then what we do is during the program, we do a lot of words. And what I mean by words is we do word speech. See, whatever follows I am is a very poignant statement. It's a concrete statement. So instead of saying I am and I can't do this, or I am, overweight or obese, we turn the person to say is I am incredible. I am beautiful, because your tongue is the strongest muscle in your body. And to break your barrier, with your tongue, you can make or break war, you can make or break love. What you say is what you become. And it's so interesting. It takes 11 positive words to nullify one negative statement. And if you really think about that, how many times are we telling ourselves negative statements throughout the day? So we work a lot on word training and powerful words that can be expressed through your tongue and then absorbed into the mind. So to really break down the barriers of you versus you, we teach the person how to talk to themselves in a positive sound set that they can implement strategic plans to have positive outcomes.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the most profound area that I found through the 12-week program was that how we speak to ourselves. And then you learn through working with you, and then you catch yourself, and then you stop doing it and you remove toxic relationships within your life. And I think you're also aware of how other people can affect how you're feeling, and you learn not to have that. That's them, not you. So I think throughout those 12 weeks, all of that is so powerful. And even seeing my husband go through it, he was already really fit and healthy. And so he thought, but then he realized that his habits around food were always comfort when he was working, always having to have something to eat, and removing those things initially was a big challenge. But then once he was free of it, he was able to recognize that he wasn't making necessarily the best choices. And I think it's those things that really highlight on the journey that's different to any other program. If you were to sum up what you do with your team, and everybody in your team is extremely qualified and has worked, I guess, for a long time and passionate about what they do. Before we go to questions and Mel to jump on, what would you like to leave people with the impression of this program?
Sure. So one of the biggest things that I'd like to leave an impression with this program is the program is about you. We are here to serve you. We are here to give you the best opportunity to success. If you think about some of I'm going to go a little bit into the hacks on this question. We teach morning rituals. And what you mean by morning rituals, if you do one thing in life when you wake up, it's to have gratitude. Gratitude, anger, and anxiety can't reside simultaneously in the mind. So we teach people morning rituals. And by teaching morning rituals, you get your mind set to have a positive outcome. And what I mean by that is that when you win the morning, you win the day. A next hack that I would like to go into is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Exercise, and I don't like the word diet. That's why in our program, we change it to meal plan. It's a personalized program for you. If you think about it, when you think about exercise, people are like, oh my gosh, it's so uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. But if we say you're going to be the best version of yourself, it's going to help you become a better mom, a better spouse, a better friend to people, a better daughter, a better, in essence, friend to others. People then say, wow, let me hear about that. How is being uncomfortable? How is being comfortable with being uncomfortable really implemented into my life? And how can I change that? Things like we have a specialist who I love and adore. His name is Raj. He teaches people how to breathe. And we so much breathe from our chest, but we should be breathing from our stomach. And just by breathing from your stomach, you lower cortisol levels, which are bad stress release into your bloodstream, but actually break things down. Raj teaches you not only how to breathe, but how to reduce stress. And when you reduce stress, it's more applicable to say, you want to know something? I can do that. And going into expanding more in the hacks, I like to jump back and regress back in time. And if we think about our New Year's resolutions, I always tell people, 95% of the population within the first 15 days quits or gives up on their New Year's resolutions. And it's a big word that's in resolutions. Let's think about the word resolve. And in this program, we resolve our traumas. We resolve the child that was told no at the age of 10 that they couldn't be a teacher, a doctor, or a lawyer, whatever it may be. And we teach that person to say, yes, I can. And jumping into another hack, it goes into what I call the four pillars of life. We have potential or your talent, you have your action, you have your result, and your belief system. And sometimes we even like to say it's a system, a belief system is like your BS system that you tell yourself that you can't do it, but you can do it. So in our program, we take your talent or your potential. We let you create massive action by showing you 12-step strategies that are going to get you the results of you want. And then you get the belief system is, see, I can do that. See, the calendar is very arbitrary. It's not even about January. It could be about July 1st. It could be August 1st. Whenever you do start the program, what we do is we break down that trauma. It's like breaking an egg. It's cracking it open. It's giving forth the people to say, yes, I can. So what really happens in this program is a belief instilled in yourself to conquer and establish any goal that you want to set forth and make it happen. And as I said, our statistics and our data backs this. We had a 90% success rate, which is unheard of, who've accomplished a program when they sign up for it. We've have over a 60% accomplish and keep their results after year one, which again is outstanding. And it's not saying how great the program is or this is the best program. It's creating the best person and best individual within yourself to reestablish that child that was told no at 10 years old, that they say now, yes, I can.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Jay. Mel, did you want to jump in and just explain a little offering before we go to questions with Jay?
Hello, thank you so much, guys, for the beautiful Q&A and for the hacks. I'm going to recap at the end of this as well. We'll do Q&As in a second. We're mindful of time and we realize it's later on in the afternoon or evening for Brisbaneers especially. So for those live, thank you so much for joining us. We have a beautiful treat. So Of course, we're talking about the KAILO Transformation Program, which is a 12-week program. However, for these lucky people watching, what we're going to do is offer you guys the first week. It's called Orientation Week, absolutely free. You don't have to put your credit card in. You don't have to do anything. There are no strings attached. It is literally 1 week to try this amazing life-changing program for free, to give it a go. And what you get is a live 30-minute workout with Jay. You have a live 30-minute breathwork session with Raj, and a day on the plate ebook created by our lead nutritionist delivered straight to you. So I will put the link in chat, and if you get stuck with that, if you put your little cursor down to the bottom, it should say chat with some chat marks, and you will find that link there. And all you have to do is pop your name and email address, and we will send you the details. Orientation week starts on Monday, so we hope that you guys can all attend. I can see a little love heart here. Thank you so much for the love heart. But it's a really great way just to try out the program and see what you think. Just from these small, the 20 minutes that we've had of conversing, I'm already got so many notes from this conversation of, removing that I can't and I can, and almost, removing those, I think those self-limiting beliefs that we just get imposed upon us with society and our parents and everyone trying to protect us and whatever else, and us protecting ourselves, that we need to break free of that. Oh, thank you, Holly. I will, oh, there we go. Perfect. I've got your details, guys. Some of our attendees are popping in the email, so I will make sure I grab those and send you all the details as well. So now, if you have any questions before we wrap up, please pop them in comments. Otherwise, we'll do final wrap-ups. And if there's anything else anyone wants to add, pop them in a chat. Okay.
There is just one area I just thought I would jump in while we're waiting. Jay, the one thing we didn't speak about, we've spoken obviously around the program and the offering and people's health goals, but we didn't speak to the fact that it doesn't also have to be about weight loss. As I mentioned, for Oz, my husband didn't need to lose weight. But you do a lot around addictions and people struggling with, I guess, those codependencies around alcohol, sugar. And I think that's a really key part of the program, that if you just wanted to spare an extra 60 seconds and just, I guess, highlight that there's a different component to the program as well.
Sure. We have every kind of person come in. We have people who want to lose weight, people who don't want to lose weight. We have very fit people. We have professional athletes who've come into the program. We've had moms, dads, whatever it may be. And we've had people as young as 18 join the program. So the program is a personalized program that goes after your needs, your desires, your passion, and your wants. So when we personalize the program, we set it up with a meal plan designed specifically for you. Then the workouts, we offer free workouts. And a lot of times people come on and they say, hey, Jay, can we work mobility today? And we'll work a mobility work. Some people want to do strength workouts, and we'll work a strength workout. And then Raj will basically set up and implement a personalized breath work session for you. So it's really to get the outcome and the desire for you want. Now, Christy, I really want to say something that's really poignant. We've had people come into the program who don't know what they want, who don't know if they want to lose weight, who don't know if they want to gain confidence. And I always get excited when these people do come in, because people say, well, I'm lost. I'm like, no, you're not. You found yourself. See, the hardest thing in life is signing up. And I always tell people, go for it. You can do it. And when you do sign up, you make a commitment. You sign a document for your life to become the best version of yourself. So whenever a person comes in and they don't know what it is they want, during the 12 weeks, we usually have a breakthrough come at week 6 where the person says, oh my goodness, I am somebody. I am making it happen. And I do know what I want in life. And that's why we have a specific goal setting implementation of 1 week where we do teach people to work on their goals. Simply, Christy, by writing down your goal, you have a 42% greater chance of accomplishing them. And the breakthrough usually happens at week 6, right after we write down that goal. So whatever you're looking to accomplish, or even if you don't know what you're looking to accomplish, this program will help you redirect to get you to be that child again, to say, yes, I can, and put forth a positive outcome and a sustainable outcome with your life.
Thank you.
Right, I've got a question come through just about breath work, about what if I'm new to breath work? What does that look like?
Well, that's great, because a long time ago, I was new to breath work. When you're new, it's great because your mind is open to receive more. Sometimes when you're gone through breathwork sessions, you're anticipating this is how it's going to be. When something is new to you, it's green, it's a beginning, and it's a positive mindset that you can create through understanding who you are. So if you are new to breath work, that is actually great, because you're more open to receive the instructions from Raj, and you're more open to commit to an understanding that breath work is needed not only for longevity, but to create a sense of de-stressing your life and to uncluttering your mind.
Beautiful, well said. Okay, I think that's it, unless last call for questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. And we're actually stuck to time. This is really impressive, everyone.
On-time performance, very important.
I know. So to recap, I'll just quickly run through a couple of notes I put. That the workouts, they're very functional as well. I loved the story of the, you're balancing on one foot and the mum's picking up the child, similar to, whether you're doing weight training or just body weight training, and having that real functional element to it. I love the idea as well that you're considering the longevity side as well. So, how we can, of course, age gracefully, but also, into our mature years of be really strong within our body and mindset. Again, love the removing the can't and I can't, but I can, and also turning it around of I am, and having that positive element, and that you versus you, it's all in here, isn't it? So really getting in that, and also the gratitude in the morning and starting the day with a positive attitude. Thank you so much for that. Oh, we've got a couple more points. We've got Wendy saying thank you for your insights and all that you do. Thank you, Wendy. And Renee's asked, do you need to add our email address in the chat to receive Jay's book? Renee, if you could, that would be amazing. And then we can make sure that one goes out to you as well, because that's really exciting that we can share Jay's book with everyone also.
Thank you. That was really incredible, Jay. Thank you for your time. We know you're back to back with clients and you've made this time for us today. So we're really grateful, and yeah, just excited to see how O Week goes.
And it was an honor to be here. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you, Christy and Melissa, for all you do.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.